Guest calls this lip service with no real vision. Former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf is here to explain. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
He said he wanted to secure the border, but he's got an odd way of doing it, doesn't he?
Well, he certainly does. Again, you're exactly right. It was lip service. I think the president ticked off a number of wish list items when we talk about immigration reform, another push for Congress to pass immigration reform. And I think the president forgot that he actually has a lot of power, an executive power, to stop the crisis that's going on down on the border today. And, you know, the 2 or 3 minutes that he mentioned immigration in that speech, there was no vision. There was no strategy. He talked about securing the border, but he didn't actually say how he would secure the border. So I think it was lost on many Americans that he's not serious about the crisis that continues along that southern border.
Well, I think, you know, when he brought it up, I was surprised to see that. But then I realized it's like a Rorschach test. It all depends on which side of the aisle you're on as to what you hear. Because if you are a Democrat, for the most part, you hear he's going to try to fix immigration. It's like, OK, we're going to figure a way to make all these people American citizens. Whereas if you are somebody who is more interested in security, when you hear we're going to secure the border, you're thinking, OK, somebody's going to actually stand at the border and say, hey, if you don't have papers, you got to turn around and go the other way. He didn't say either.
Right. Well, I think here's the fundamental problem. You know, the president talked about, again, amnesty for a group of individuals, not only dreamers, but if you listened, he talked to about a number of other populations. So in the midst of the worst border crisis, where you have a continual pull factors driving people north, the president now announces that we're going to give millions of folks amnesty. Well, guess what? You're going to have such a push towards that border. Additional populations that it's just simply the wrong approach. Until you secure that border, you cannot talk about other populations that are here illegally and what to do with them. The first step is securing that border. And again, no vision. There was no strategy. There was not talk about a border wall system. There was not talk about the migrant protection protocols, asylum agreements. There wasn't talk about how you secure that border and enforcing the rule of law.
Sure. Of course, the first 10, 15 minutes of his address was about Ukraine. Apparently, according to our sources, big banks and other entities are saying that after the invasion, apparently, Russia's been hitting us with cyber attacks over a 48-hour period. It's gone up 800%. But, you know, I haven't heard anything about something happening to Wells Fargo or anything like that. So I guess our defenses are working.
Yeah, I don't think that this should be a surprise to anyone. You know, Russia not only has the capability, but have shown the willingness over the years to use cyber attacks on the West, on Europe, as well as the United States. So we get attacked here in the United States, not only from a federal government standpoint, but obviously our private sector companies as well, hundreds and thousands of times a day. And so they're sharing that information from not only from DHS, but Department of Justice and DOD and others, helping these companies shore up their defenses, mainly probably at the financial sector, but really across all of our critical infrastructure. Probably their shields are up because they know that this is likely coming as the U.S. does more and more sanctions and gets more and more involved in this crisis. We become a target for those cyber criminal actors.
Just a kind of a detailed question, but are these Russian hackers, you know, those groups of hackers, or is this the actual Russian government doing it?
Well, I think they keep that vague for a reason. But what we know is a lot of these actors operate out of Russian territory, and they do that with the acknowledgement from the Russian government and Putin. Whether they are actual employees or the like, there is a tacit agreement with the Russian government to continue these attacks.
All right, and it sounds like they are. Chad, thank you very much for staying up late and getting up early today.
Thank you.
You bet.